Well, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be doing all of the prep work for people to show up to put the trusses up. And there's a ton of small stuff that has to happen, and we're just going to hopefully get it all done because I want it all done when people show up. I don't want to have people doing stuff that I could have done ahead of time. But I'm going to talk briefly about what's behind me is the pipe staging. Now, I used to make up whatever it took to make up staging, which was like cob together whatever wooden frames and planks, and I was absolutely sick of that, and I ended up saying to myself that you need to buy some staging. You can't be so cheap. So I had like three choices. I could do the pump staging, where you use two 2x4s nailed together to make the poles. I've used that method. I've had my experience with that. They're awful. They work sometimes, but they're not, it's a big struggle with them. So didn't want to do that. The other thing I could have done is bought the expensive aluminum pump staging, which are really nice. And the aluminum planks or picks that go along with those. But I decided to go with pipe staging, which is behind me. Pipe staging comes in all kinds of shapes and sizes. You can get the ones that I have, or you can get what are they, mason staging, where you can walk through. There's no obstacles, and you can get them in different heights. Anyways, I ended up buying pipe staging. It's a little bit more versatile for the kind of stuff I do, and it can be a pain in the neck to set up, but it gives you a good sturdy platform to work on. And so that's what I ended up doing. So that's what I've got. All right, I'll just do a quick show of how I set up pipe staging for those of you who have never set up pipe staging. It's very simple. Before I get started with the pipe staging, let's give you just a quick update. We've had people express interest in buying some merchandise, and I've been working on the logo, which we've finalized, and we're putting in an order for some shirts. Now this is just going to be a small run just to see if we like the shirts, but if they come back from the printer and they look really good, then I'm going to set up a store on the website where you'll be able to go and purchase them. But I'll give you heads up on that when that happens. We're also going to try and order some hats, because you know I wear a hat all the time, and maybe some of you will too. So those have not been finalized or ordered yet, so that's all in the works, so just hold on. All right, so let's back to the pipe staging here. So we're going to set this staging up with wheels on the bottom so that I can roll it around in here. It's going to be really handy. And first thing you want to do is actually lock them in place. This is the lock, and that you unlock and they roll around, and push down on that and they lock. And to set this up by yourself, you really want to lock those in place. So and they all have room for a bolt, which you absolutely want to use. You don't want these rollers to come off from the staging planks, from the pipe staging. All right, that's step one. Now I'm going to, because the wheels are locked in place, I can stand this up without it rolling away. And then we'll put on the cross braces. All right, now I'm just going to set up the other side and we'll tip those up and get the first box all put together. All right, that is one section put together. And these cross braces are not, they're not meant to be stood upon. All the weight is meant to be on the blue part of the pipe staging. Though you see people stand on these and they end up being bent, and they're really not meant for to support any weight other than tension and compression. So so anyway, the next step is I'm going to put on the next layer. So I'm going to put some planks across the top, and I don't have any of the nice aluminum platforms that fit up there. All I have is wooden planks, and they seem to work pretty good. I also have that big heavy plank, which we're going to put at the top, and so you can see that one up there, and that's a really nice strong platform too. So let's put up the wooden let's put up the next layer. So now I've got that plank up there. I'm just going to unlock the wheels. And what's nice about the wheels, I can just roll this right around. And when we're assembling, when we're putting up the trusses, I'll be able to wheel this right out that and go into another bay because I can't get under that beam. So basically I've got, with these two rolling platforms, I've got coverage of the whole floor. So we're going to put this, turn it sideways and roll it up to the front of the building, and then we're going to get one of those planks to come across over here, and I'm not sure how that's all going to happen. what I want to do is make some kind of a platform up here to put the plank on, so that we're within 3 feet of the top of the top plate. The plank itself is 6 inches, so I want to really be 3 foot 6 inches down, which is, I'm going to really be right below that peg. Which is not convenient. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a 4x4 leg coming up here, and then that'll be screwed into that 8x8, and then there's going to be some 2x4s going across and attaching into that post, and those will all have giant screws in them, and then those will come across and screw into the top of the post. And then I'm probably going to do a diagonal brace in here over to the post to make sure that it does not wiggle. And we're going to do the same thing on those 3 down there, which will give us a completely level platform sticking out from each post. And then I'll put the aluminum plank on top of that, and that'll give us a working platform that is high enough to set the trusses comfortably. So this is what I've come up with. 4x4 here. These are all scraps. The plank will sit on here. There's a screw on here so the plank can't slide off. Hopefully you can see that. And we add another 6 inches for the thickness of the plank. It gets us 3 feet up to the top of that top plate. All right, I just slid the plank up there. I was up there, I just put it up. Sorry I didn't film it. I'll film that one going up. But this is my small gin pole. It's just a bracket from the hardware store, and I don't know where I got this pulley from, but this whole thing is going to set up there using those pieces over there. So that's the next step. I'm going to do a test fit, and actually maybe I'll assemble the whole thing, and then you'll see the logic behind my you'll see the logic behind the whole thing. All right, that is my idea of the gin pole. You can see it's just on those brackets that clip on top of the beams, so we'll be able to pick it up and move it along and put it exactly where we want, where we're working. We'll just be able to slide it along, and it's tall enough so it'll lift up the trusses high enough to slide on. It's not, there's no, it's just a single block up there, so there's no actual mechanical advantage, but people on the ground will be pulling down here, and the people up the top will just be receiving the top of the truss. So that's what I came up with. I hope that's what I came up with. I hope it works. Yeah, hours of thinking about it and coming up with different solutions. This seemed like the simplest, quickest, and yeah, we're gonna find out if it actually works. All right, there are all the staging planks set up along with the gin pole. And besides, the only other thing to do up there is to cut off the pegs that are sticking through, so that the gin pole will be able to, I'll be able to push it along the and the pegs won't be in the way. So that's pretty much done. The next thing is we're going to take these things, which I made when I built the house. I don't know what you want to call them. And they're going to go attached to this post and the next post down. I only have 2 of them, and we'll put the 16-foot the staging plank that I have, it'll go down on this end. So that's the next task, is to get these things screwed up there and level. Oh boy. All right, there's one. Let's go put up the next one. I think that'll be okay. I am going to put some clamps on there to keep it from moving around, because it's not on by a whole lot. All right, I'm back at working on the garage. We've had some computer problems. I haven't been able to post any videos, but when you guys see this, we'll have figured it all out. So right now we're in that process. But I spent this morning making up these brackets, and they're not pretty. I'm not a welder. There's a few nice welds. That's not too bad. That one I didn't see what was going on and went all kind of crazy like. But what they are is they're 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch strap, and they're intended to connect the posts with the top plate, make a better connection than just that peg. And in the back, there's no connection here at the moment except to that pipe clamp, which I can't wait to get those off and back in the shop. I got to take all the rust off. They've been out here. This has been an unbelievable rainy summer. Every time I think I've got to come out here and work on it, it's raining. So today it's just hot and humid, so I got to get to it. we got all 4 of the straps on the top. This is the top plate. And I used shorter screws here and a long screw there. I figure that, you know, these are just going to have to, oh, this is an awful weld too I'm showing. I think that this is just plenty strong enough. Plus this top plate is pegged to here. The braces are all, everything's holding the top plate down onto the post. And down at the bottom of the post, we're going to connect it to the concrete with another strap. That's at some point. Here's the gin pole in the setup. Hopefully in about a week or so we'll put it to use. And here's the other end one. I have to hold it back because the truss is going here, and I didn't want to run these straps out here because there's going to be, you'll see when we assemble the trusses that there's actually kind of a box thing that fits in here that's gonna run along this edge. You'll see. All right, we're in the back corner. This is the top plate. So this strap, unlike the ones in the front, I can't put it in. It would have been easy to do something like this, and then I would have had to do a twist in that. It's just no good way to attach that to that. So I'm going to put it on the outside. But what I am going to do is I'm going to mark around it, and I'm going to take the router and route out a 1/4 inch groove so that it fits in flush. Because this is just going to affect the siding, the sheathing that goes on here. And I want to be able to slide the, I want to be able to slide the truss right straight across instead of having to lift over this thing. So gonna mark that out and get the router and try to route that out freehand. All right, there's the strap on the back wall, all routed in. Of course, these heads of these screws stick out, but that's fine. I didn't want to route it any deeper. I got that one down there done as well. All right, I'm actually working on the trusses. And you can see, looking down these trusses, there's not a straight one in the bunch. So all the trusses are the same. Let me get this camera right. They're all the same, but 2 of them, since they're easy to access, I'm going to treat as the first one, the 2 outside ones. And I want to build the soffit on each one of them down here on the ground, so that when we put them up in place, all of the fascia and soffit is all done. And So this is what I've come up with. These are 2x8s, all of these, and the plan is to take them and screw them in place in here on their edge. It's going to straighten out the truss, and it's also going to, hopefully you can see that. So if this is the truss is flush with the outside of the building, and then there's going to be 1-inch sheathing, 2 inches of foam, and then another inch of siding, comes to 4 inches. So with this setup, we'll have a soffit of 4 inches, and I think that's just going to be as big as it's going to get. So the plan is to add a 2-inch 2x8 here, and then blocking underneath it to bring it to 4 inches. And that, so we'll have 4 inches thick here, and then on top of the trusses we have 1 inch of sheathing boards and then 2 inches of foam. So add that all up and we come to 7 inches. And then I'm going to put a soffit board, a 3/4 inch soffit board underneath, and that means that the fascia will be a 1x8. I don't have it drawn out, I just have it kind of worked out in my head. So, but the first thing to do was to find a 2-inch thick 1x8s that are straight. And now I'm going to actually I'm going to attach them to here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-drill, because this I think it's the southern yellow pines. I don't think it's fir. This is spruce, but that's not spruce. Oh, I can't even see this. This cord here is not spruce. So anyway, I think I'm going to pre-drill it. I'm going to clamp the 2x8 to it, and then actually fasten it from the back side. All right, you can see what I've got started. I'm adding on a 2x8, and it's straightening out the truss. All right, so the piece I just put on is the soffit, and this is the piece of the fascia, and it fits over that. So we get a nice joint on the underside. I don't have to worry about, yeah, it'd be a nice tight joint to keep the insects out. So, well, let me just put this one on. And that's it. I just got to cut the next ones, install them. So this leaves us. So this is going to leave us through. This is the roof deck. There's going to be an inch of boards on top of here, which will butt up to this. 2 inches of foam gives us. So this is 3 inches, and then the metal roof will go flush with that, and it'll have some kind of a gable and or some kind of a finishing trim piece of metal that'll go over that. So it'll look like there's another fascia, but it'll be a piece of metal. All right, so that is the overhang. You can see the what's going on here with the soffit. Get you down here. The soffit and the fascia all rabbited and all together. It's getting hot. I'm not thinking right. So this is really done. The roof will come over the top here, and then the siding and insulation and all will butt up to the bottom here. So I don't have to. I can deal with that. But this here, I can deal with this when it's installed. But it was a lot easier to put all of this on right here. All right, it is, I don't even know how hot it is. It's hot and humid, and I'm done for the day. Maybe later today I'll come out. There are just a few things left to do. I want to move the excuse me, I want to move the trusses. I got to make up some 2x4s with some layout on them so they're ready for bracing up inside of the trusses. And I think that's basically it. So I think I'm going to end the video here. Yeah, people are coming in 3 days to put up the trusses, and I'll be filming that for sure. Hopefully it all goes really well. I only have 2 hard hats. Hopefully nobody gets beamed in the head. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around through this whole long video of the garage prep, and we'll have a roof going up on the next video. All right, thanks.